Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for attending the Ferguson HVAC Dealer webinar series. You guys, I'm Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CIO Up Group, and I appreciate you taking time to spend a little bit of energy and hours working on your business instead of in your business. So this morning, we're going to be talking about HVAC target market strategies that are designed to drive results. These are essentially the top 3 money makers that dealers cannot afford to neglect. So if you've attended different sessions and seminars, a lot of times I'm covering all of the fundamentals of a marketing campaign. How do you position your business in order to be able to get the results that you desire from a digital standpoint, how to drive leads and so forth. Today's going to be a little bit different. So just as a predecessor, before we get started, this is my caveat. As you guys attend trainings and different dealer meetings and you're listening to people telling you how to market your business, there are a couple things you want to consider. So not all information is great information right now. Not saying what this training is about is not good information. However, there are some of you that this may not necessarily apply to right now. However, that being said, in order for a business to properly put the infrastructure in place, be able to make better decisions up front, you got to know where you're going. You have to be able to forecast the future and be able to see, what are some of the things that I need to have in place so that when it is time to implement these marketing techniques, that you're prepped and set and ready to go. So no matter where you are in your business, if you're brand new out of the gate, if you're, midway just trying to get over the $1 million hump, or you're sitting at $5 or $10 million, this is definitely going to be valuable. However, not all of you might not be time to implement it. So, a lot of our dealers, they come to us, they'll say, "Hey, Jen, should we do this?" Yes, just not right now. So planning. As we go through this process, there is a series of fundamental things that have to be in place technically before these become top priority. Should you be setting up the infrastructure? Yes. Setting up the systems? Yes. Preparing to be able to do this? Absolutely. The last thing you want to do is be in business for 5, 10, 15 years and not put these infrastructures in place. And then when it comes time to flip the switch and you realize, okay, I need to be focusing on this, you're sitting in a world of paper, or you don't have your databases set up properly, or you've got years and years and years of a lack of data, so it makes it difficult to be able to execute. So that being said, we're going to concentrate on 3 primary target markets: existing customers, leads, prospects, and opportunities, technicians, and installers. So first things first, existing customers. This is typically one of the most under-planned for and under-managed, as well as under-leveraged areas within any business. However, we all know our number one source of new business should technically be our existing customers. So we're in a quandary because as a business owner, we understand the value of our clients. We understand that we should have more contact with them. We should have more engagement with them. However, we're not quite sure how to do that. And most companies are always on the lead or the hunt for the next customer, that they don't put the necessary time into taking care of or staying in contact with or leveraging the database of leads, opportunities, customers that they already have. So that being said, everything is about segmentation. Being able to identify those individuals that are in your database and segmenting them based on very distinct criteria. The different segments allow you to be able to implement systems and automation processes that would allow you to be able to stay in touch with them, generate more referrals, generate new upsales, new business, and continue to build your business leveraging this database, if it's in a database. So we have a couple different pieces. One is, what are the systems? How are you tracking customer data? Do you have it sitting in a CRM system? Is it sitting inside maybe only your QuickBooks account? Do you have uh, a marketing system that allows you to properly tag and segment all of the customers? So I'm going to give you some examples of what an existing customer segmentation looks like. And this is important. So as we go through this is one case scenario, and we have many case scenarios with our clients that make sense to their business. So don't get stuck on things that don't make sense to you, because this particular scenario is based on a case that fits a specific dealer. Yours may be different, and that's okay. So it's really about the process of being able to create the segments, track the segments, and then what do you do with them? Creating a plan of action. So for this particular sample segmentation, we start off with number one, which is one-time buyers. So this is the criteria that was in our database, was those individuals who have done business with this dealer 6 months, let's see here, past the 6-month mark, so not within the latest 6 months. And they've only done business one time. Next is new, so anybody that fits into, and it could be 3 months or 6 months, or it could be 30 days. So any new customers that are in your pipeline. Next is those customers who installed a system and they subscribed to a maintenance plan. Inside maintenance plan, there may be additional segments. You may have the segment that is an informal maintenance plan, where you are effectively selling the fact that you provide maintenance, but maintenance is more sold as a service, so it's not a formal maintenance plan. You have a maintenance plan that requires annual sales, meaning that they pay one time, you do the service maybe twice within the year, and then you have to resell them the next year on the same thing. That becomes expensive over time from a labor standpoint, because you're always having to resell the same existing database plus all the new people that are coming in. And then the third element for a planned maintenance is going to be the customer who is on a recurring subscription, and their credit card is automatically being deducted either on an annual, quarterly, or monthly basis. That's recurring revenue in the business. So even within this segment, there may be additional segments. Next, no maintenance. So that is someone who did install a new piece of equipment and did not sign up for any maintenance plan. Next segment is when you repaired an old system. So when you do a repair or a service call and you work on an old system, are you keeping track of the dates behind those? Next is special offers. Who are the customers that are leveraging special offers? They're looking for the discount, the coupon, the value proposition. That's what they do. Not just in their world with HVAC, but that's what they do in general. They're looking for those promotions that are going to make them feel comfortable about moving forward. And we could break it into who you serve, which could be broken to residential, commercial, new construction. We also have a lot of dealers that focus on multiplex units. We have handfuls of them that focus on rural. So this is going to depend on your business model. Another segment would be emergency, those who have called on you for emergencies. And then within emergency, of course, there are different additional segments within that as well, whether it's incremental weather, whether it's emergency as in we have a system that has significant issues, technically needs replaced, and so forth. Financing versus cash buyers. So who financed their product and for what term, and then cash buyers, those who simply came in, you gave them a proposal for 3 options. They chose the highest SARE or the highest efficiency system, and money was not part of the equation. It didn't matter. each one of these individuals is motivated by and potentially moved by a different approach, a different strategy. You also may have a different objection with each one of them. So your objective with those who are not on a maintenance plan may be to sign them up for a maintenance plan. Your objective with those who are on a informal maintenance plan that requires you to resell and re-invoice every single year and collect, which puts you more like a collection company in a bank. You may want to get on a recurring credit card or a recurring subscription, no different than their water delivery or their pest control or their lawn service. So every one of these has a different goal. Once you have these segments in place, then it's really a process of identifying, being creative. What's the idea? What is the eye-catching promotion or value proposition or series of email sequences that are going to be intriguing or interesting for that particular segment? How do we provide value without always just selling? Because there is a nurturing sequence that is necessary in order to get them to move to the next stage. So identifying what is that content. That's really step one. Then it's simply utilizing a system. So there are email marketing systems and sequence marketing systems that will allow you to automate the process of staying in touch with and communicating to those segments based on what the segment criteria was, what the concept was behind essentially what drives them and your ultimate goal. Once you build the segment, it's managing the database. We have a lot of dealers that have multi-segments. They have customers that actually enroll themselves into segments through different landing pages. We also have customer service teams, front office ladies, as well as technicians that put their customers into different segments. So a segment we're working on right now with another dealer is a sequence of emails that is distributed from the day the proposal is sent. So you go in, you do your analysis, you're sitting at the table, you're going over the proposal, and you leave. They say, no problem, we're going to be looking at a couple different quotes, and we'll get back with you. So there's 3 of you in competition, and you have a sequence that the second they come back to the office or right from their mobile phone, they drop them into an email sequence that automatically sends a campaign, and that campaign has a series of emails. One, it says, thank you, we appreciate you, allowing us to come into your home or business and be able to provide you with different solutions based on your needs. The next email comes out, and it says, as you go through this process of evaluating, various solutions, here are some things you should consider. These are the top 5 questions you want to ask or make sure you have answered before you make a decision on who you should use for this project. And then the next one comes out and says, these are the top 5 things you should avoid when it comes to blank, blank, blank. So technically, one activity, send the promotion, puts them into a single campaign, and that campaign sends targeted information to that specific segment that gets them to take the next action. So 3 dealers are in competition. All 3 have proposals on the table. One has a series of emails that are set on a sequence to be able to deliver without you lifting a finger once the email address is in the campaign. Who is more likely to win? All right, so everything boils down to people, processes, and systems. If you have the ability to put something into a process and a system that doesn't require people anymore, that is going to help you increase your overall profitability. That's going to give you minutes back in your business. So, that being said, landing pages are a huge piece of this equation. This is not a website. So your website is it's the open book, right? Everything's in there. You've got one page of content per service. You have a blog, you have an About Us section, you have an FAQ section, you should have a testimonials area or a reviews area on your site. You should have terminology. This is a big open book about your industry, your services, your products, your customers' issues, and so forth. It's also a big place that people can get lost. so a landing page is very, very different. A landing page is going to have a very specific campaign tied to a specific promotion and hopefully a specific email or automated sequence that's going to occur to work on behalf of you while you sleep. So the entry point is a landing page. It keeps them off your site. They're not reading the entire book. We just have them reading the cover page. That's it. In order for them to get into the book, they need to put in a little bit of information, little bit, like an email address, to get into the book and have that page opened. Once that's in there, that's their key to being able to unlock the information or the content in that book, and it's automated. So, next target market. So existing customers, just kind of in summary. First and foremost is making sure that you have the proper technology that allows you to properly tag customers based on a predefined means we plan it in advance versus randomly letting people tag information or utilizing custom text fields, which you can't sift, can't sort, can't report. So we need to properly plan out what are those segments, why are they your segments, what do we want the segments to do next, and what motivates those segments to move, what interests them. How can we provide information or items of value in order to be able to nurture that prospect, that customer into becoming a repeat customer, a retained customer on a retention plan, i.e. a maintenance program with a credit card on file automatically being renewed without ever thinking about it. Better yet, a promoter. How do we eventually get your customer to be so in love with your company that they promote you? You know, I love it. I always take pictures of, I just got another one this morning. I always take pictures of our clients. They, that's our job. We try and build promoters. So over time, you build that relationship. I got one this morning. It said, Jennifer Bagley, please give your team a raise. These dudes are off the chart. So I love getting stuff like that. That's the kind of feedback that you want to get in order to be able to turn that client into a promoter. And that's when your business really starts to notice a difference. Differentiator between these. Most companies are solely focused on lead generation. They're on the hunt for the new business, the new business, the new business. That's not always the best sole priority because lead generation, this works when there is a need. However, what happens when it is 70 degrees? If it's 70 degrees in your world, that's a different time of the year. That is a different that's a different challenge for an HVAC dealer who has probably an office, who has office staff, who has a series of trucks, insurance payments. They have technicians they're trying to keep busy, installers they're trying to keep busy. They've got all of these staffing expenses, and then they have 7-degree weather that doesn't make for the greatest consumer interest on the internet searching for products and services you sell. That's not an exciting time. So I get it. So what do we do in that what's our fallback in that period? It doesn't mean that you're not busy. You should absolutely always be busy, even if that time of the year is geared towards evoking your existing customer campaigns. So if the internet is not driving leads and opportunities because of the weather, that's fine. That's a normal process. It needs to be built in that we understand that consumer engagement and interest is going to slow during 70-degree weather. It's also going to slow during big holidays and so forth. Those are times that are natural slowdowns for many areas, and I'm not Not necessarily all areas, but for many. And it shows, and it's all data. It's not guessing. So you still need to remain busy, and the best way to do that is to have this as a primary target market during those times. So customer communication, customer extensions, customer reach, uh, leveraging those segments, building those campaigns, and continuing to reach out to these customers to offer them new services, to be able to showcase other things that you do. And that's a big deal. When you sit down at the table with the client, you're not trying to show them all your wears and tears. I'm guessing you're not pulling out a catalog and saying, we got air conditioners, we got furnaces, we got thermostats, we got indoor air purifiers, we got whole house air purification systems, we got we got UV lights, we have solar panels, whatever that is. So if you're a mechanical contractor, that's even worse, right? The list is long. So we don't want to confuse a customer. We want to provide them with a solution based on their independent need. However, doesn't mean the client may not be interested in knowing that you provide other services in the future. So great opportunity, definitely has to be part of your marketing campaign. All right, now leads, prospects, and opportunities. So in order to create a funnel of leads, so this funnel right here, or this target, if you can imagine, there's a bunch of balls on the outside of this target, and instead of saying leads, it says IP addresses, because that's essentially what it is, right? You've got a bunch of computers out there. Those computers are doing queries. Hopefully, as they're querying on the internet, meaning they're typing in AC repair in blank, AC installation in blank, AC tune-up in blank, furnace installation blank, furnace tune-up in blank, furnace repair in blank. As a heater, as they go through those different queries, we want your company to be an option. You got to be an option. So the way to be an option is you have to have a pretty extensive digital reach, which means your name, your company name and website need to pop up in multiple places based on multiple searches, whether it is through a Google search, which is number one. It's through another search engine search, if it is a directory, a social media site, and so forth. You need to be around. In the olden days, it used to be called a billboard. So now we have the digital superhighway, where you have the ability to drop a billboard, no different than McDonald's dropped the golden arches at every interstate off-ramp across the entire nation. You have the ability to do the same thing. You have all these people that are trafficking, they're driving. Why did McDonald's put those arches at the end of every exit right off the highway? Because that's where the people were going. They were already driving by, they were already looking that way. They wanted to be the one at the end of the exit. Boom, you can see the arches, get off now. And they got a sign telling you that it's coming. So in this world, you have the same opportunity, but it's definitely not as expensive, has more long-term value, and there's a slightly wider audience of people that can travel down the internet than a 4-lane highway. So your digital reach matters. How are you positioned on your search engines? How many key phrases? How many variations of those key phrases? How many cities for each one of those key phrases are you showing up in? How many different kinds of channels? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Google+? Are you on LinkedIn? Do they have the ability to find you? Are you on the top social media or the top directory listings? Many dealers are on the top directory listings. Yes, totally agree with that. However, they have the wrong address and wrong phone number and misinformation all over the board, and that causes a problem. So your digital reach, the more extensive it is, the wider this base is, it's going to be able to collect new leads. Your funnel. So as leads come into your business, they come in different stages, okay? And your funnel, you either have a home for each one of those kinds of people, or you only have a home for one. Most companies typically are going to start off having a home for one, and that's the person willing to make a phone call right now because it's an emergency. Not all of your clients are emergency clients. There's a big group of them that are emergency. They're uncomfortable, they're irritated, their toes are freezing, whatever those issues are. their system's not working, they're boiling hot. Those are emergencies. Those are the ones that are going to pick up the phone, they're going to call. You have your non-emergencies. These are planned. So the ones that are non-emergencies, in order to get them to become a prospect, you got to have something of value, and you need to have a way to keep them inside your nest and provide continuous value over time. These are your researchers. They're looking for different information. They're comparing systems, they're comparing pricing, they're comparing benefits, they're researching terms, terminologies that they don't understand, don't know, haven't had experience with previously. They're trying to get educated. That customer group is different. Let's say it's Mary and John are looking to buy a house. They just put in a bid on a house. They had their initial inspection, and the inspector came back and said, everything checks out. The only problem is your roof needs a little bit of repair, and oh my gosh, you need to replace that heating and air conditioning system. It is ancient. Okay, they're going to have 60 days of loan processing and funding to be able to do homework. And they're going to start researching. That's a different kind of buyer than somebody who is sitting in the middle of a problem right then. So does your funnel on your website, does it take care of your existing customers? Does it take care of your emergencies? Does it take care of those people who are doing their research in advance? Does it have the content, the information to be able to convince them that you've got something of value? And then finally, those things and how effective they are, that's going to basically give you the opportunity to potentially move them to customer. So I will say on the outside of this ring, these people are suspect. Suspect meaning untrustworthy. So we need to get them to trust you. And typically that's going to have nothing to do with what you say about yourself. It's going to have to do with what other people say about you. Then they become a lead. They're a little more comfortable. You're on social media. They can see you're active, that people can reach you on Facebook. So that makes them more comfortable. They can tell that you've got, a great set of reviews. That's going to make them more comfortable. All of a sudden they become a prospect. From a prospect, you now are qualifying them to see if it's a good fit on both sides. Then they become an opportunity. And then it's all about your closing skills or your team's closing skills. That entire process is conversions. So you have to have an exact match of content, information, products and services, and an identification of what the customer's need is in order to be able to play this game. An exact match. So if a client wants you to, or a prospect, suspect, wants you to be professional, does your website portray that you're professional? They want you to be knowledgeable. Does it portray that you're knowledgeable? They want you to be trusted by many. Can they easily see that many people love and respect you through your reviews? They want you to be transparent and open. They don't want you to be a fraud or a scam. Are you on social media? Are you on local listings? Are you transparent? And whatever it is that they're looking for, you need to be number one, page one of that phrase. So everything starts off with perception. Remember, consumers are making a decision on whether or not to trust you right out of the gate. They're also comparing you to other companies. There is no information that is proprietary anymore. All the information that is necessary to make a decision about a product or service is online. Most people are making their decisions before they ever have a conversation with you. That's the difference between the volume of traffic you get on your website versus the volume of conversions you get on your website. So you need to keep building, keep adding content, keep providing more value, and keep giving those individuals an exact match to what they need and desire in order to move forward. The broader your breadth of marketing, the more extensive your digital reach, the wider funnel you're going to create to be able to generate new leads and opportunities. So if you're only doing one of these, if you have a website and it's not optimized, it probably doesn't count. You're going to be, rocking your Nikes and wearing, some holes in your soles from having to go build your business the old school way, networking, attending networking meetings, trying to generate referral business from the database that you have. So having a website's not going to do it. Do you have a website? Is it properly designed, properly developed? Is it optimized for how many key phrases? Is it performing? Are you on social media? Are you using an email marketing system? Are you generating referral customers? How many marketing campaigns do you have? Are they very specific? Are they very targeted to consumers' needs, to the seasons, and so forth? And finally, the last one is, are you developing affiliate networks of those connections who can provide you with a wild, vast, awesome list of new prospects. So I'll give you a couple examples on the affiliate side. We have a client of ours that does not provide emergency service. They don't have the staffing to. They're too small. They're struggling being able to service their maintenance agreements. They don't have enough. They don't have enough resources to be able to provide emergency service and service their maintenance agreements and deal with all the new business that's coming in the door. So not having emergency service, that definitely is a disadvantage in many areas. So what we did is we connected them with a spot cooling company, somebody that does portable air conditioners, portable heaters. The spot cooling company, the HVAC company, we put in a quick little system where we promote on our dealer that they provide emergency service. A consumer fills out a form. It comes in after hours. That form automatically is dispersed both to the dealer and to the spot cooling company. Spot cooling company runs with the lead at midnight. They run over to the consumer's house, drop in an AC unit, drop in a heater. The next morning, the dealer wakes up and sees they have a new lead in the system, call the client. The client is happy as all get out because they're warm or cool or whatever was the objective. And now they're scheduling an appointment to be able to come out, assess the problems, and provide a solution. Boom. They now provide emergency service without hiring one new resource. That's an example. And those referrals come back and forth. When they get a call when the spot cooling company gets a call for somebody to come in and drop in a temporary solution, they immediately call their dealer or they'll tell the customer, hey, I'm going to have my HVAC guy give you a call. We can get this fixed. In the meantime, feel free to keep the coolers here or the heaters here as long as you want. And then once you guys get it situated and they've got a solution for you, we'll come pick them up. That's one. Another one, I have another dealer that we encouraged him to go to the Association of Inspectors. And he had to come in. So if you're ever going to build a referral network, you have to come to the table with more than an appetite. If all you're doing is come in and you're wanting handouts, that doesn't work. So with him, we built a mobile app that allowed him to feature providers of home services inside his mobile app, and he paid for the mobile app, designed it, developed it, and then he gave it to those home service providers that provided a different service than what he did, and said, look, I want to feature you in my app. I'm only going to have one home inspector or two home inspectors inside my app. Are you interested? The only thing I ask from you is that every time you go on a client, you meet a client, you ask them to download it for them, and ask your realtors to download it too, and your other inspector guys. He took it to a group of different vendors, everything from flooring guys, we had drywall guys, we had roofers, landscapers, contractors, plumbers, electricians, and wound up having 30 different providers, home service providers, that were all taking the same mobile app that was featuring all of them with the ability to schedule appointments and notifications and so forth. They all handed it out to all of their clients. That's an affiliate network, another incredible way to build business. So we need to think outside of the box. We need to be real. People love referrals. They love the internet. That's the two primary ways that they buy. Why not leverage both? Leverage technology to do some of the work. So this page, we could just sit on it for like a month. The word content, technically all this is your voice. It's your ability to speak. If you stop talking, do you stop selling? In a marketing environment, no matter what are you doing, if it's web search, social, mobile, SEO, email, your existing customers, prospects, and so forth, everything boils down to your ability to communicate. And your ability to communicate in a digital environment is all based on content. What do you have to say? You have no content, you can't even play the game. You stop talking, not playing the game. Imagine walking into a house, they've got a whole bunch of questions for you, and you just sit down and blink. Blink. So that's not a good day. That would be like coming to the webinar and I say, welcome to the webinar, congratulations, let's go. Blink. Blink. So we wouldn't get very far. So really, really, really important, you guys, is to plan for, budget for content. Content is everything. It's king. It's necessary. It's how you get sorted, searched, found. Uh, that's how people connect to you. The quality of the content is critical. So budget for higher quality content. Focus on that. Build content that can replace you. I know all of you have woke up one day and you've said, dang, I wish I could just clone myself. You can. That's the awesome part about all this. You absolutely can. Technically, that's what I'm doing to myself right now. I'm cloning myself, doing a presentation. It's filled with information and content, and that content is going to be digitized into a permanent asset that I can use for year over years, over year, over year, over year, until the internet changes and everything I'm saying is outdated. So plan for it. In all of these environments, if you haven't been through our program, it's called the 12-Step Roadmap to Achieve Accelerated Results. This is a series. In the very beginning of this presentation, I said, when you go and you listen to people like me, you're excited and you're like, we need to do this. So sometimes the answer needs to be, yes, you do need to do this. And then after a SWOT analysis is done, which I'll cover in a minute, the answer might be not yet. Most small businesses, a lot of companies in the contracting industry are missing the core foundations of, it's not your gig. This isn't what you do. You've got, websites that are 5 years old, 10 years old, or you have no content, or you just launched a brand new website, but you haven't optimized it for all of the variations, the key phrases, the content, the locations, the service areas, or you haven't built up your reviews yet. This is the fundamentals of developing a business and a marketing system from beginning to end. So what I'm doing in this presentation is I'm taking a little bit over here, which is on the CRM side, and CRM is, this is your segmenting process, a little bit on the content side, as far as how do you create the content to be able to connect to each segment. And then I'm jumping all the way over here to email marketing, which means that you've got all of this stuff really, this is going pretty well. So we got to do things in the right order. We may be just starting off with these. Let's get these things out of the way. That may be your first year. Your second year, you may be building. So in your first year, you may go get a gorgeous website. You may build out the basic pages, basic in your website. You may get your CRM in place and, get used to using that. You may have a little bit of SEO for a handful of phrases, 8 phrases, 10 phrases, and so forth. And the blogging necessary to make your SEO work, which is your content. You may start building a handful of reviews. And then in your next phase, the next year, you may be realizing, God, I really got to get my reviews up. I got to have a formal process in place. I need to make sure all my local listings are perfect. They're optimized. They're being used. My social media accounts have more custom content, more creative content, more engagement, more connectivity between you and your customers. Your landing pages, you start creating landing pages and campaigns that are very specific to each one of the segments we identified up here. Then you're starting to build video. Video can be reused over and over again. Best case example for that, I have a client that used to send out a thank you letter every time he did business with somebody. Mass amount of stamps, envelopes, paper, time, the receptionist up front that was doing all this work. We literally took 1 hour, we got him in front of a camera. His video is very, very simple. He says something like, you know, hey, I just wanted to thank, I'm so-and-so with blank, whatever company it is, and I just wanted to thank you for recently, utilizing our company for air conditioner heating services. I wanted to personally reach out, say thank you. Also wanted to let you know that we have a link on the top of our website that if you would be so kind as to leave us a recommendation or a testimonial telling other people what you thought about our service and how much you loved our service, we'd greatly appreciate it. And oh, by the way, we would ever so love to take care of your referrals. If you know someone who needs our services, this is a great way to be able to refer business, and these are the rewards, blah, blah, blah. So that's my quick video. Anyway, one video works permanently forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. He never has to write another letter again. You have audio, you have the owner of the company, it's personal, it's effective, and it covers the 3 most important things. Say thank you, get an endorsement, and get referrals. Ask for the business. Then we drive into email marketing, mobile marketing. This is a 12-step roadmap. Within each one of these steps, there are an additional 12 steps, which means that this never ends. This is not a project. It's not one and done. You don't build a website and then let it sit. You keep doing more of what's working. You keep adding to it. You keep improving it. You keep building the content and so forth. So if you guys haven't registered for next month's training, we're going to be focusing on the 3 G's of leads. I just want to throw that out there. We're going to be diving into internet lead generation through Google Business Listings, Google Rankings, which is SEO, and Google AdWords. So in order to really maximize your opportunities on the lead generation side, that's a great training. Don't miss that. That's my plug. So the goal of this is really to be able to drive as many suspects to your website as possible, to have the proper design, layout, infrastructure, and content to make them a prospect, to have the conversion tools to convert them into a lead, then an opportunity, and ultimately a customer. All right, all that being said, let's roll into the third target market, very important piece of your business and something you do not want to wait to pay attention to until it's a fire. This is your recruiting technicians and installers. This is a core fundamental element of your business that if you do the work up front, you'll never be in emergency land. So you don't want to live in emergency land. If we all do what we already know we should do, then we'll technically get to live in maintenance mode, which is great because we're not dealing with fires. So think about it that way. If we all just do what we already know we should, you're going to live in maintenance mode. You're not going to have to deal with fires. This is personal and professional. Side note. So, as far as this entire thing, one of the most widely used preventative excuses that keeps companies from moving forward and making very, very successful gains is simple. It's I don't have enough time, right? And I want you to just be more aware of that phrase, I don't have enough time, because it's often it's the worst thing you can tell yourself. Why don't you have enough time? If you have the infrastructure, if you have the systems, if you've taken care of those things you already know you should do, you should have time. So to do high leverage activities, and that's what these things are. These are not low on the totem pole tasks. These are very critical high leverage activities that a business owner and a company should be focused on. So we want to avoid what I refer to as rocking chair syndrome. You're sitting in a rocking chair, you're moving, you're rocking. Why isn't it going anywhere? Okay, so we want to avoid rocking chair syndrome. Always moving, never going anywhere, always busy. Busy being busy. Okay, you, from this day forward, you are now hiring. No, I know you're not hiring. No, you are hiring. So you're hiring. You're always hiring. You always have a sign on your wall. Your wall is your website that says now hiring. Now hiring. You're always recruiting. So in order for you not to be struggling when the time comes that you need help, you got to have a sign up and you need to be taking entries and resumes and building a database, a CRO database, and having those resumes on file. We need to have a very formal process that's part of your search engine optimization plan that accomplishes the same thing we do for AC installation in blank. We need to have the exact same content, exact same key phrases, or key phrase methodology, I should say, for those individuals who are looking for HVAC jobs in blank, air conditioning installer jobs in blank, furnace installation technician jobs in blank. I don't know what those key phrases are, but those are the nuts and bolts. Your next technicians are doing the same thing as your consumers are doing. Why? Because everybody uses the internet. That's how they find stuff. So, employment. having an area on your site that showcases your team, having an area on your site that's about, what it's like to work for your company, what your company stands for. Do you provide training? Do you provide benefits? Do you have a trade school? Do you guys, participate in getting young startup guys, certified or licensed? What are those things that you provide? Why are you a great place to work? And you need to have this sign always up. Now hiring. Now hiring. Worst thing you want to do is get into emergency mode with this. Marketing continues to grow. You're doing the right things. All of a sudden your phone rings. Now you're sitting in the middle of summer. You've got emergency services that are coming in because you've got, weather increments. You have extreme hot or extreme cold. So your phone's ringing off the hook and you don't have anybody to call to do the work. That does not work. So let's build that database of technicians, installers, apprentices, and new buyers. This entire process, it doesn't matter who it is, an existing customer, a prospect, suspect, lead, or a technician, it all boils down to the same system. It's identical. And once you learn the system and once you see the system work, once you see the success that comes from the system, and a lot of this is you got to make it through the hard part. The hard part is the beginning. If you haven't done any of these things, you may be spending your first year playing catch up and putting the right systems in place in order to even be able to play this game, which means you have to push through that entrepreneurial startup period without quitting 1 yard before the touchdown. And having those expectations, the proper expectations based on timing. What did you come to the table with? What assets do you have? What assets are you missing? What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities? What are the threats that are out there that could be harming or hurting your business? Let's get those things out of the way. Put in a plan, put in a system, put in the right technology, the content, and press play. So first, it's research and analysis. I already know what people want. We've worked with so many dealers. For the most part, there's not a lot that surprised me. I had one that actually, it was really cool. He was in California, and he said that he is selling the heck out of a earthquake shutoff valve, the northern something. And I was like, you can shut off an earthquake? He's like, shut up, Jen. So, okay, so he's selling the heck out of this. You in California, you probably know something about the trans-northern, I don't know what it was, but it's an earthquake shutoff valve. That's a niche. Very cool. So you want to find those niches because those are gold mines. Research and analysis, understanding what are people looking for, what do people want, what is going to drive them. Then it's finding what are the key phrases that fit that, developing the content, designing the campaigns. You have all the technical junk, which is all your SEO, HTML backlinks, tags, so forth. What is the strategy for reaching them? What are the channels to reach them? So it's going to be your website, it's going to be your social media accounts, it's going to be your blog, it's going to be your local listings accounts, it may be a mobile app, it may be an email marketing system. Ultimately, driving traffic, converting and scoring them, and ultimately producing customers on the other end. That's how an inbound marketing strategy works. Inbound, you become a magnet. So all of these people are already looking for what it is that you do. All we got to do is make yourself available. Then automate the process. This is what a sequence looks like. This is an automated sequence when you have the system, content, pre-written content, and a series of actions and defined triggers drive you through a process. Come back to that next. Talked about SWOT analysis a little bit. This is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is the X's and O's of business strategy. You should be constantly evaluating or at least working with a coach. We do this with our clients every quarter. We've got to go put things in these buckets and figure out what are the things, in order for us to do the right things at the right time, we got to do the research and the homework. We have to put in the business process and automation steps. And every single quarter we're looking for what are the missing elements? What should we be doing that we're not doing? What should we have that we don't have? Next, we need to do more of what's working. So if it's working, you need to do more of it. It's not going to automatically generate more results on its own. You need to keep increasing, keep adding key phrases, keep adding content, keep adding cities. And finally, we need to evaluate those things that are not very effective, not producing great results, or those dollars or investments could be better utilized doing more of what's working and reallocate those funds. And that's print, digital, media, everything that you're doing. How can we take the same time, the same minutes, the same hours, the same dollars, the same resources, and do it better, faster, or less expensive. Remember, everything you have right now, whatever you have in your life, in your business, whatever you are currently doing, however you are currently thinking, got you where you currently are. So if we want things to look different, if we want the world around us to look different, the only thing we can do is change our thinking in order to change our results. So the solution, we make it pretty easy. Ferguson and Day and Night have an incredible program that they've put together. So definitely talk to your sales guy about that. I've got a couple tools right out of the gate. I want to show you. I've got a couple minutes left. And by the way, while I'm going over these, if you have questions, feel free to use the chat box on the right-hand side, and I'll see if I can catch those before we get out of here and make sure and get those questions answered. So I've talked to you about landing pages. I just wanted to show you a couple examples of what I meant by that. So here is a sequence. The customer is driven to this particular landing page. It's actually a full site, but this is a landing page geared towards this particular product. So this is AC repair. The promotion is about AC repair. There's no navigation. We're not losing them. They're not getting mixed. All of the issues. My AC is not working. I don't know how to change filters. I don't know when to change them. I've got water leaking. It's not blowing warm air. I'm not comfortable. All of these things are geared towards just that. Testimonials, reviews, and so forth. This campaign, same company, different landing page, is only geared towards hot water heaters, promotion, so forth. So every single campaign is set specifically to do something different. Once the lead goes into this campaign, it goes into an email sequence. That email sequence is going to tag all of those connections with a scoring system, and it's going to continue to score those. So the higher the score, this is if you have a nurturing program in place, the higher the score, the greater the opportunity. So out of the gate, I've got a couple tools for you guys that I want to give you. If you go to ciwebgroup.com, I'm just going to go back here. This is our URL. You're going to land here. There is a button we threw up for you guys. It's not going to be there forever, so we just put it up for the webinar. So it's tools. Click on this. Now, there are 4 things on here that are important for you. So one is the email marketing and drip campaign sequence system that I've been referring to. You guys can sign up for a free account right here. I don't know how long we'll have that available, but hopefully you're watching this live or you're watching the recorded version, and click this link, free email marketing system. That's going to set you up with a free account. I think you can have up to like 1,500 subscribers in there. You'll have web forms we can put on your website. We can create different campaigns. You can segment your customers, your leads, your opportunities. You can tag them. And then when you're ready, we can get into more marketing strategies that are automated, that are going to help grow. Next is lead pages, landing pages. Yes, we design landing pages all day long. We design them, we develop them, we build landing pages. If you want to do it yourself version, or you want to take a stab at it, this is the best landing page creation system if you want to do something that's quick and easy. So you can click here and check that out, and that's a great way to get started. This does not replace your website. So remember, landing pages are only used. They will not generate leads and opportunities for you. They are a landing page based on the definition, which means you have to drive people to it. So either through pay-per-click, traditional advertising, a campaign, blog, social, and so forth, an event, but it's where people convert. Maybe a place that you send your existing customers to do something. Sign up for more information on indoor air quality or air filtration systems or maintenance programs or other things. And then finally, this is this is a really great tool. I know a lot of people struggle with building forms, surveys, and forms for people to be able to fill out. This isn't a killer system. This will get you a free account as well. And then lastly, we have our ebook. And this ebook is the Ultimate HVAC Marketing Guide. There's a ton of information in there that will help you. So take advantage of these things. They're set up specifically for you. Talk to your sales guy over at Ferguson day and night and Air Cold, and have a conversation about, where are you going with your marketing? What are you guys concentrated on? And set up a free strategy session with us. This is what we do. So if you're under those umbrellas, then we spend an hour of strategic planning and coaching with you to help you identify what's working in your business, what's not working, where are you, where do you want to go, and what are the steps to get there. So it's really simple. At this point, I don't have any questions so far. So soak everything in and don't worry, because if it sounds like it's complicated, really it's not. It's just a matter of putting simple systems in place, taking baby steps, every year or every quarter or a couple times a year. Keep adding to the mix. We already have a plan. We can already tell you what you're going to need over the next, at least 3 years as you go through this process. So you don't have to worry about, what's the order, what's the steps, what do I do, how do I do it? It seems complicated. It actually is really easy. We do this with our eyes closed. So take advantage. CIWebgroup.com, sign up for a free strategy session. You can also go to FergusonBDC.com and sign up for a free strategy session, and go to CIWebgroup.com/tools. Grab those tools, download the ebook, and we'll make sure that all of you that registered for this webinar, that you get a copy of the webinar. You're going to register for the next webinar as well, because if you can't attend live, you'll always get a copy of it in a digital format directly after. And if you do attend live, you'll be getting a series of questions directly after the webinar. There's 3 questions. I think they're really easy, and this is a great opportunity for you to be able to earn ICP credits. If you answer those questions correctly, then this training counts towards your training credits with ICP. So that's another great thing. With that, you guys, I'm going to wrap up on time. I hope you have a fantastic week. We're rolling into a new year. It's time for that strategic planning, so I hope you get on our calendar here shortly. And if you are in Southern California, Northern California, Arizona, or Utah, we will be coming to a city near you very soon, so I look forward to meeting with you. All right, you guys, have a great one.